Welcome everyone to another structure deck unboxing video. This tomorrow we are going to take a look at Spellcaster's Command, another structure deck here, released during the 5Ds era. As you can see, this one is actually a first edition because, well, the layout, you can clearly tell because of the layout of the box. Newer versions are not like this. Right there, first edition. So let's take a look at the back. Over here, so this here is really the entire layout of, oh my god, my light is glaring there really badly. But yeah, here's the entire layout of monsters, spells, and traps for this deck, as you can see. Focuses on spell counters, like most spellcaster decks, of course, so, except Dark Magician, of course. But, yeah, so we're going to go ahead and just pop this open. And I pretty much always say this in every single 5Ds first edition unboxing, but like, the decks were sealed like this because the layout of the box was actually different on the top of it. It would actually be very easy to rob the contents of the box if they did not seal it, because it's not actually like glued or pasted on there. Instead, it's just a simple flap that can be just lifted up, so that's why. Anyway, let's go ahead and there we go. But yeah, this thing here, all you have to do is pop this, and that's it. It'd be so easy to just rob it and then push it back in and then make it seem like you didn't steal, like if you were at Target or Walmart, something like that. Alright, so that's it for that right there. Let's go ahead and take a look at all this stuff here. I'm going to remove that there. So we got a couple things. The first thing is kind of like the little strategy thing, or power it up. Strategies right here, I'm not going to go over that. But then the other side for powering up is suggesting Crimson Crisis, Crossroads of Chaos, the Duelist Genesis, Light of Destruction, and an extra copy of itself. Cool. Yeah, this is the beginning of the 5Ds era. Okay. Alright, so over here, we get the playmat. You can see Endymion, Master of Magicians, there it is. And that's the entire mat right there. Pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and hang on to that. Okay. And then you get the Beginner's Guide / Rulebook. This is version 7.0. Okay. Cool. It's actually really thick. Oh, sorry, I just moved the camera. Yeah, it's really thick, that book right there. Oh my god. Alright, let's go ahead and just open this up here. Go. And then just like that. Perfect. Alright. Let's see what we got. So, the very first one is one that, you pretty much already know this card really well. Endymion, the Master Magician. Pretty amazing. Always nice to have a first edition of that card. 2700 attack. Let's read the effect. You can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard by removing 6 spell counters from a magical citadel of Endymion you control. When you do, add 1 spell card from your graveyard to your hand. Once per turn, you can discard 1 spell card to destroy 1 card on the field. Honestly, a good card. Even nowadays, I mean, obviously it's not the best thing in the world, but it's actually really good because getting spell counters, as long as it can generate spell counters, special summon it, add a spell card into your hand from the graveyard, and you can also destroy 1 card on the field once per turn if you just discard a spell card. So it relies on spell cards a lot, obviously, but it's still really good, That's cool. Alright, so was there only 1 foil in this deck? There actually probably was. I don't really remember, but let's go ahead and back here now. So here's the commons. We get Disenchanter, Defender the Magical Knight, Hannibal Necromancer, Summoner Monk, Dark Red Enchanter, Skill Dark Magician. You get 2 Apprentice Magicians, Old Vindictive Magician, Magical Marionette, Breaker the Magical Warrior, Magical Plant Mandragola, Royal Magical Library, Blast Magician, Mythical Beast Cerberus, Makoi Master of Barriers, Crystal Seer, and Magical Exemplar. So that's it for monsters. So lots of interesting options here. Defender the Magical Knight was one of the, I guess, more widely used ones in the beginning. Sort of. Summoner Monk is not really related to spell counters, but it's still a good card regardless. All these are basically spell counter cards, sort of. That one plus Defender. Old Vindictive is actually not. Magical Marionette, that's another one. Breaker, that's another one. Then these are spell counter. I believe Makoi is not. No, it's not. But you actually get to destroy cards It says you can tribute this card to destroy one face of continuous spell or continuous trap card on the field. That's cool. Crystal Seer is not as well. Magical Exemplar is actually one of the better spell counter cards. Yeah, I know it's kind of a mess here how I just laid that out, but yeah, that's essentially all the spell counter cards and all the monsters really in general. For spell counters, you do have Magical Citadel of Endymion. It's a card that's really hard to get rid of on the field because it has so much protection for itself that you just simply remove a spell counter instead of it getting destroyed, and yeah, it's that simple, you know? So, it's a cool card. Spell Power Grasp is one that can easily generate you spell counters. You essentially get to choose one card to put a spell counter on, and it being a spell card itself also generates another one, and then you get to add another copy of itself into the hand, but you can only use one of these per turn. Magicians Unite, you got Mist Body, Malevolent Nozzle, I don't know what that's doing there. That's not really ideal. Giant Trunade, Fissure, Swords of Revealing Light, Mage Power, Terraforming, Enemy Controller, Book of Moon, Magical Blast, Magical Dimension, Twister, and Field Barrier. That's a lot of stuff there. Also, one thing I'm really concerned about is why on earth on the structure deck did they give you Twister and not Mystical Space Tycoon? Like, what is that all about? There's a lot of good cards here. Malevolent Nuzzler is a little questionable. Giant Trunade, although it's a good card, it doesn't seem like the most ideal thing here because you have to keep things on the field like Magical Citadel of Endymion, you know, I don't know why. I don't know. But a lot of really good stuff regardless, and it's good that they give you a lot of spell cards because you do actually need to activate a lot of spell cards to get spell counters. Traps is only a few. Magician's Circle, Pitch Black Power Stone, you get 2 of these, Tower of Babel, and Magic Cylinder. So these generate spell counters, while you can basically use one per turn from there to a card that requires them. Magic Cylinder was good back then, of course, always cool to have. This one's a little hard and tricky to pull off, but yeah. Yeah, so that's about it for that in terms of the deck. So you get, 5 trap cards only, a lot of different spell cards, which is honestly a good thing, you need to have a lot of spell cards for these types of decks. And then you have a bunch of monsters, and there's just so many different ones that, utilize spell counters and what you can do with them, and just kind of just spreading them all over the places so you can kind of see them one more time. Yeah, it's cool. And of course your ace card. Funny enough, this one became a common card in Order of the Spellcasters, which came out like in 2018, almost 10 years after this one. But yeah, still cool to have this one though. So yeah, I am going to end it here. As always, let me know what you think of the video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you have not done so already. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye everyone. Have a great and of course a fantastic day.